So first of all, prompt engineering is not a real skill. Neither is context engineering. No matter how many times YouTubers come and tell you that prompt engineering is the next skill or JSON prompting is the next thing that will unlock you, I don't know what, but it's not a real skill. It's not going to land you a job. Hello, everyone. So in today's video, I wanted to cover the current state of AI developer or AI engineer jobs. There are a lot of job openings in this space right now, and a lot of people are thinking of transitioning into this domain. And since I work in this field, I wanted to highlight some key aspects and key areas that you should keep in mind if you're planning a transition or you're thinking of going into applying for these jobs, right? So, first of all, there's a lot of hype around AI right now, also, and the companies are rushing to adopt AI currently. Um, Without actually having a very clear long-term strategy, right? Because a lot of the projects are related to these chatbots and all, and a lot of agentic AI applications, right? So yeah, there's a rush towards adopting AI, which is definitely happening. And then if you look at the growth uh, or the last few months, right? There's not been a lot of progress in AI models. So basically, the growth has already showing signs of slowing down, and um, we are only seeing incremental improvement in models right now. So, yeah, so that's the overall state. But let's look at what is the key skill and what are the um, area that we should be focusing on, right? So first of all, prompt engineering is not a real skill. Neither is context engineering. No matter how many times YouTubers come and tell you that prompt engineering is the next skill or JSON prompting is the next thing that will unlock you, I don't know what, but it's not a real skill. It's not going to land you a job. Secondly, uh, AI development is not something that has a high barrier to entry, right? You can learn building agentic applications within a few weeks, which means the market will be quickly flooded with engineers, AI engineers, and AI developers, right? And tech influencers are just cashing out by selling courses, um, but the underlying skill is not at all difficult, right? If I give you an example, if you have built a RAG application earlier and you have some code base already set up, you have built some accelerators, you can build a new RAG application within half a day, like 3 4 hours. And the major part of the development is that there's a lot of work goes into cleaning up the data, getting it in the right format, and all that, and then making sure the model is grounded. You have tested it, you've validated uh, the model so that it does not hallucinate. It picks up the relevant text from the let's say from the document base that you have or a knowledge base that you have built. But it's not a very big hardcore skill. It's something that you can learn in a few weeks, and once you have built it, it just takes you a few hours to set this up for a new project. It's not very um, it's not something that you need to learn a lot. It's not like data science, right? Where you have to learn math, you have to learn statistics, you have to learn um, programming, algorithms, how these algorithms work, how to clean up the data. All of that is not actually there in AI engineering. It's majorly just wrapping up APIs into an application and giving users a way to access it, right? So that's again, a lot of influencers are selling courses about Gen AI, Agentic AI, and all that. They're not actually teaching you any hardcore skill. It's just something that you can learn on your own within a few weeks. And if you have programming background, you can learn it over a weekend or two, right? Not something great happening there. Next, coming to compensation is also roughly equivalent to data engineering, so data scientist or software development, right? More or less, everybody's getting paid the same amount these days. You could see a little better pay uh, if a company, because a lot of companies are hiring in these roles, and there are not a lot of people who actually know the skill. Um, Although it's not very difficult to acquire, but since people are trying to learn this right now and nobody knows the how to build these applications to production, you might see slightly better pay right now, but very soon this will be all become normalized, because the market will be very soon flooded with AI engineers, right? Everyone will be an AI engineer within next 6 months. Yeah, and many of these jobs actually just require building API wrappers on top of OpenAI and Anthropic models, right? This is something that I'm observing in the industry right now. Most of the projects are like 6 to 8 week POCs. These are like chatbots or agents or something along those lines, right? But they're not long term projects that companies are focusing on. They're just focusing on building something very quickly, do some POC, but they're not like 6 months project or a year long project, right? What we see generally in software development. Um, and again, companies are just testing waters right now. There's no commitment to long term AI product strategies. They're not building very long term strategies around this. They're doing smaller projects. They're trying to do POCs and understand how they can be integrated as part of their organization or workflow, right? Now the key question is, when these POCs end, or they're often shelved or abandoned, right? What happens to these teams? Again, there is a very high failure rate. So there's a Gartner study which estimated around 80% of the AI projects fail to go to production, and there's a similar MIT study that happened which highlighted that 95% of the AI projects do not go beyond pilot, and there are major reasons to this, right? So if you look at one is that data availability. um, a lot of times there's not enough data available, or the quality of the data is so poor that you cannot actually build something on it. And then people are just trying to use AI everywhere where it's not even needed, right? So that is another aspect uh, why the all of these lot of these projects are failing, right? And people are not seeing value realization right now. So even if you add agentic workflow, how much cost saving you're getting is something that value realization is yet to happen. um, People are not seeing 40-50% efficiency gains with these things. So whatever cost that these are incurring in terms of compute and infrastructure, that has to be justified by, or at least have to be offset by the cost that you're saving, right? Otherwise, what's the point of building AI applications if you're losing money on them, which OpenAI is doing and a lot of other companies are doing. So, and what are the examples of the projects, right? Most of the projects are either chatbots or AI agents or agentic workflows, which are not 100% reliable. Now, overhiring is a big risk. Uh, and the reason for that is we have seen this in the past, right? And very recent past. We saw this with blockchain. We saw this with Web3, crypto, NFT. There was a lot of hiring. Even with metaverse, there was a lot of hype. But then all the hype died down, and now you don't see any talk about Web3 or blockchain. And where are all these developers gone now, right? Because the barrier to entry is very low. The industry will be flooded with AI engineers within next 6 to 12 months. I think by mid of 2026, we'll see a lot of people doing this AI engineering work, or have this skill set but not getting hired, right? And we are also seeing the progress of AI is also slowing down now. So if you are earning well and you are in a good backend or data engineering or data science role, I think I would sit this one out, because uh, the reason is that it's not a very hardcore skill. You should definitely learn this, be familiarized with how you can build agentic applications and how you can build RAG. With Copilot, it's very easy to do these things, right? I wouldn't try to switch right now into this domain, because this has to still prove its worth. Because if we do not see a lot of improvement in AI, and the way it is growing, and the projects being not being fulfilled, not going to production, it might cause a big risk if you try to transition into this area right now. um, I am actually working as a data scientist. I work on these projects, these type of projects as well, where we do agentic AI and RAG based applications, build RAG based applications, right? If you get a project within your organization, good, but don't try to overhaul your career and try to switch into this domain, because you might get 15-20% better salary. I would wait it out for another 6 months and see how the market turns out to be, and take a decision then.